morning, everyone. Good evening. My camera's in the wrong place. That's nice. There we go. All right, let's do this, shall we? Make it a little weird tonight. I melted a bunch of clay, and let's see how it behaves. Well, it doesn't behave very much well at all. It's ooey gooey. It's hot as hell. I'm burning my hand. Okay. We're trying to make the shadow down here look fluid. Little Jungian psychology reference. Don't think I'm gonna put my hand under that to try to catch some of the drops though. This is hot as hell. This is like Salem witch trials hot. Got it sitting on a hot pad next to me, trying to keep it warm. I heated it in the oven. Let's just fling all over the place too. Why not? It's kind of creating a cool texture. There we go. A bit of a acquired technique there. Definitely interesting. It's cool. It is working. Not exactly as expected, but it is working. Hi, Sharu. How you doing? guys can see what I'm doing. Wow, I like the person whose name is just a heart. It's a good name. Thank you, Sharon. Can you guys see the weirdness I'm doing on the table here? On the shadow? I'm kind of liking it. So this is an oil-based clay, so it doesn't... In fact, this is fluid right now because it's hot. Whereas if it was water-based, it would be drying out as we speak. Hello, Cynthia. I have a feeling I'm going to go through a lot of clay tonight doing this. Every time I go to the store, I think, okay, I just need one more and that'll be enough to finish this piece. And I keep going back. Who knows if it'll be worth it? I guess it's up to whatever value I assign to it. Is everything in the value of dollars? Well, then probably not. Trying to figure out the technique, how to work with this molten clay. Keep the fluid look that I want. When it actually very quickly hardens when it hits the surface. Well, hardens, stiffens up. I am back. Hello, Beach Walk. I saw your comment today. Thank you. Appreciate the love. Thank you, Hector. I'm actually getting basically what I wanted out of this. I'm getting a fluid. There we go. Also learning how to use it. I just slopped a bunch there. This was heated in the oven at 250 degrees for about 30 minutes in a metal stainless steel pan that I now have sitting next to me on top of a heat, it's not really a complete like portable, it's more like just keep your food warm kind of thing that we have. And basically getting what I wanted out of this, which is for it to look like it's molten fluid. To be honest with you, I think I'm gonna run out again. Jesus Christ. Yeah, this is fun. Seemingly paying off more in some areas than others. Yeah, it's a little funky, right? A little different. It's fun. Thank you, Joey. Should we see what happens? Let's keep going down this experiment train, shall we? Where did he go? Here we go. We ready for a little fireworks? Let's get my wine glass out of the way here. Let's go down the rabbit hole, exactly. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I could actually set this shit on fire. Chill the hell out. Set up a fire alarm. Kind of change the texture here a little bit, made it look a little more fluid, which is what I wanted. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. Haha! Oops. Yeah, I'm definitely pushing the good idea threshold here. Nice and stinky. I'll open the exterior door. Before this awful stink becomes another marital challenge. Oh, Laura. I think it's very likely that I'll only come up on your stream when you're drinking. Let's see, do I have any more material here to work with? Not much. Got basically one left. What needs the most attention? I don't know. It's hard to say. Well, I've now used all of my clay, so I'm going to unplug this heating pad because it has a tendency to kill my breaker switch. Throw a breaker switch, pulls a lot of juice, and I got a lot of lights and computer. So I'm wondering what happens when I work this now with the old aquaphor brush. Let's do a little experiment together, shall we? Interesting. These areas that were a little rougher than I would like. Looks like it's kind of working. Oh, love and nails. Oh. Well, maybe you need to broaden your horizon of what making art is. Maybe you're making art and you don't know it. Okay? There's such a thing as performance art. I would consider kind of what I'm doing here as a component of performance art. In which case, a performance of making someone else have a good day, it could be considered making art, if that's your art form. So, making art doesn't have to be clay or paint or charcoal. Making art could just be oh, Laura. Have you experimented with art today? Yeah, this is working out all right. Smoothing out this area was a little rougher than I would have liked. It's kind of looks more fluidy. Can you guys see the base? Do you see what? Yeah, you can see the base, right? Yeah, you can see. I'm getting to move in the cameras if I don't have to. It's gonna be in the butt. Some of these areas gets really sultry, like right here. I don't know if you guys can see. Yeah, you can see in that one last camera angle. The way the fluid flows is really sultry. Love to get that more. And this little experimentation we're doing together, Laura. Well, I don't know my wife's on, but I don't know what you call her, aunt-in-law, was on a minute ago. Thank you. We're getting there one step at a time. I I don't know if I could try any kind of technique of this pouring on the bird. It'd be cool if I could, but I don't know if it's gonna work. You like the bass, meaning this shadow bass that I'm working on now? Thank you. It means a lot to me to get that kind of feedback because this was very much an experiment. No idea how this is going to turn out. I mean, I wanted it to look like fluid poured, which basically was. All right, there's some Jungian psychology there, right? The shadows underwater. But I had no idea if it was going to work. Do art today. Exactly. At some point, you just have to make the choice. Stop everything you're doing and make a proactive choice to make something. The word art is not a qualifier. It's not a qualitative statement. Yeah, definitely. That aquaphor technique over that rougher area, I think, worked pretty well. Because it dries, meaning basically the aquaphor soaks in. I think it'll be cool. Double check something real quick. Yeah. Booze break. Misu, are you Japanese? I like that actually. Misu's not a bad name. It's not the intention. I've been calling her the Hand of Fate, but I like Misu. I don't know if you're a regular, but I lived in Japan for a year and a half. Forgive me if you've heard this story. But I see she's area of lava. I think you lost me on that one. I mean, it does kind of look like lava, if that's what you're saying, yeah. fairy of light, a fairy of, I need to widen my texture and I can't see it. Can't see everybody's cool name and everything because they're too narrow. No, this is not a commission. I think of you guys as my customer. I'm literally just doing this to be doing it. Having this experience with you guys. I like the contrast of some areas having texture and some being smooth. And I didn't really like the texture in this area as much, so I'm going to smooth it out. It's taking a little bit of work though. I think it's better to do it slow like this than to try to do it quickly. How does Tim come from? I don't even understand that question, I'm sorry. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. I think I can, actually I've got a thing in here to prop her up because I wanted gravity to push a little bit backwards. I'm gonna take that out before it causes a challenge. Thing falling over, which would be sad. There we go. Wine break. Wire brush go? Oh, there it is. Let's get a little more aggressive right here. Thank you, Air Child. Okay, where are we now? Let's take a step back and look around. Be aware of your surroundings. I am opening a gallery here in Kansas City with a couple of business partners in about 6 months. It's going to be a entertainment venue, so a lounge, club, art gallery. I'm looking forward to that. That is going to be super cool. All right. Let's just keep flowing. Let's go up the fabric now with our work. Let's see where it leads us, huh? Keep exploring. Allura. Wow, you got all kinds of nice ideas there. There's beautiful gods of light. My mother, Ara, bless you. Wow, you got a lot of good ones there. Let's flow her into the shadow. The shadow knows. I did not have a model for the body, other than, I mean, to be honest, about 65–70% of this figure looks like my wife. So I think I have a daily reference point. And by, I mean, this basically is what my wife looks like. I'm being very specific when I say 70%. So I do have a lot of reference in that regard. But no, I don't have a model. She'd ever posed for me. Now, thank you. I don't even know what to say to that. You know, good husband. I don't know. I think it becomes a complex. It's a very complex concept. Good husband. Good golly. I'm gonna start flowing this cloth into the shadow now. That's where we need to be. Well, I mean, art is just thought. That's all art is. People try to define what it is. It's just thought. It's not clay. It's not acrylic or oil paint. It's not anything. It's not bronze. In my opinion, art is the conception that happens in your mind when you consume it. It doesn't even exist in the real world. It's a spark. It's a moment. Moment of communication. You're having a conversation with Bernini, who's been dead for hundreds of years, when you look at his art. John Singer Sargent makes an appearance on my streams all the time. He talks to me, and he's not always nice. no idea what the personality of John Singer Sargent actually was, but in my mind, he's, you know what, he's like my first years of art school teachers, like very good, very disciplined and aggressive. That's who John Singer Sargent is for me. So when he appears in my stream, it's as a strong paternal role. What am I putting on it? Where's the camera? I am currently putting on Aquaphor. Where'd it go? Yeah, if you have tattoos, you're familiar with it. It's an oil-based petroleum jelly, and it penetrates oil-based clay, just like it penetrates your skin. And I'm using it to smooth the outer layer. It absorbs into the clay. Like I use it all over her whole body up here, and it's, you know, mostly it's gotten back to its normal stiffness, because over time it absorbs. I'm sure your mom was having complex feelings, not necessarily, and I'm totally projecting here because I don't know anything about your mom or you for that matter, but that generation generally, you know, they had concerns of your ability to support yourself, make a living. The truth is that times have changed quite a bit, and there's a variety of ways you can at least be creative, if not just flat out an artist now. I made a career for a few decades working on movies. Wouldn't recommend it now. Visual effects is not a good career if you live in the United States anyway. But I did. There are other things you can do. However, your job and your passion don't have to be the same thing either. It is not a metric of success. I like Rick Rubin's take on this, which is taking on the responsibility of supporting yourself is a noble cause. And you should primarily do that, and secondarily focus on your art. That doesn't mean the secondary is lesser so. You have enough bandwidth to do both. You may get to the point that they become the same thing, but if they do, that's another trade-off. You're now losing something in the process. I lost a lot being a commercial artist for decades. I gained a lot, but I definitely lost. Warrior of Gods, hello. Not that I'm ignoring everyone else's commenting, I'm just, Warrior of Gods put quite a spell out there. Thank you. Reaching out for another dimension, I think. That's pretty cool. Well, when I get everything kind of up to a certain point, which I'm approaching, I'm going to go back into a final pass and everything, and that's when, you know, any details are, you know, like, just pops, you know, at least in painting, you call it pop, where it's just like, that's there, you're going to focus on, and that's the attention grabber. I'm not at that point yet, but soon, to I'm gonna go back and I got a whole, I'm gonna do another pass on the bird first before I'm kind of at that stage. Get it more, a little more representative. I want to get more flame-like characteristics into it. Tail I haven't even started on. I want the tail to be big and flame-like. I had to tear it apart over the weekend and put in some wires with JB weld. I tore her whole hand apart over the weekend, so I could put JB weld in there to better support and put in this. Mr. Bombati, good evening. I put in this support structure over the weekend. I was just talking to old John Singer Sargent, Mr. Bombati. Now he can be a real prick sometimes. My imaginary friend. He's like the Gazoo from Flintstones. It's my imaginary friend. There's still heat coming out of this clay. It's still warm from the moltenness. Right? That worked, right? Just gonna take it a step back after some time looking at it. It kind of worked. The pouring part, exit the pouring thing. Yeah, it worked. Where did I learn this skill? Well, that's my favorite line from any of the Star Wars. When Han Solo says, I'm making this up as I go. That's a good point, Bombati. That is at least another good line. I don't know if it's better. It's a good line. When Leia says, I love you, and he says, I know. That's a very good line. This is definitely clay. This is oil-based plastilina clay. And you're about to ask what I do next with it. I'll tell you. I'm going to make a mold of it, cast it first in resin, and then based on the success of that, I will cast a wax. Around the wax, I'll pour plaster, and the plaster, which will then be a negative of this, I can pour an alloy like bronze or anything, pewter. Bombati's vote was for silver. He wants to melt it down and kill werewolves, I think, or at least have that option. I think that might be in his mind when he invests, when he buys one. Like, well, worst case scenario, werewolf apocalypse. I can melt it down, make a weapon. You know what I like about sculpture over, say, drawing or painting is I'm sitting here reading, I'm looking at that because I'm not even looking at the sculpture, but I'm feeling it. Right? You can sculpt with your sense of touch just as much as your eyes. And I can feel what I'm doing. I don't necessarily have to even see it. You know, I guess when I'm old and blind finally, I can probably still sculpt to some degree because I'll be touching. And by old and blind, I mean like next year. Because I'm gonna get close. Oh, thank you. Yeah. I mean, it's like I've referenced that this model or this figure looks a lot like my wife. You know, as impeccable by, say, a public standard her body may be, there's still a sense of gravity. When you defy those sense of gravities because you're trying to come up with some kind of idyllic thing, you really just detach the viewer from the physical experience. So it's, you know, a little bit of sagging is actually what's necessary for essentially observational empathy. Just made that up, by the way. I like it a lot. Observational empathy. I'm going to coin that phrase. The observer feels what they're seeing. Observational empathy. How do my fingers stay clean? They're not. I mean, maybe they look like it, but there's just a thick coat of Aquaphor, which is basically like Vaseline on my fingers. Thank you, sweet tea. Makes sense to me too. I'm gonna use that again. I was gonna come back. Yeah, I was telling somebody, or talking on the stream last week or whatever, that in some cases this step right here feels a lot more like massage. I'm calling this the hand of fate. Hello, Mexican Batman. Why do the cameras not show exactly what I'm doing? That would be complete coincidence. There's definitely nothing nefarious in the camera cuts. If anything, the camera cuts originated when I first started. I put a camera up here. Yeah, the one you were just looking through. Because I liked it. But then everybody was saying, I can't see what you're doing because I'm working on this side. I'm like, well, that totally makes sense. So I set up the other two cameras and set up the auto cuts so that you could continuously see a different angle and see what I'm doing. So don't hurt my feelings by saying you can't see. I put a lot of effort into that. Thank you, Jasmine. And AJ44. 4 JS. You guys give me a lot of love. El Gore Dog Ringo. Sound like a reference to Pulp Fiction? Or the Beatles? Or both? I call this Hand of Fate. That's what I'm calling it. I mean, maybe between now and then to come up with something I like better. But we'll say working title. Hand of Fate. Are you still there, Boombati? Just gonna fill you in on news if you are. I'm always here, Beau. Wow, you literally are some kind of maniacal Jiminy Cricket. Love it. Yes, just started ordering materials for the gallery club. I found a 12-foot tall, 150-foot, actually longer than 166-foot canvas that I'm going to turn into a projector screen. That is going to be a big, damn projector screen. It's going to be super cool. Completely immersive. Started specking out 3D spatial sound to put in it. Yeah, it's going to be super cool. It's going to be made of 9 projectors. Seamlessly blended with a real-time environment driving it. So yeah, it's becoming real. Getting stuff, taking possession of the building the 1st, which is in a few days. At some point I'll be doing the stream from that location. Like maybe fairly soon, honestly. It means a pain in the ass. It's about a 20-minute drive from my home. This is nice because when I finish in the middle of the night, I can just crawl into bed. So that's gonna be a pain in the ass, but I think it's gonna be worth it to do from that. What am I working on right now? You talking about the sculpture, or you talking about what I was just talking about? This is plastilina, oil-based clay. To answer that question. Well, I mean, it's all about what, yourself, right? Like, I want to look at this regardless of other people. Somebody asked me not very long ago, how do you know when you're done? And I'm like, well, when you stop exploring and you start doing something because you're trying to impress somebody with how good you are at it, that's when it's time to be done. And for me, this is still exploratory. I'm still exploring what this could be. The pouring of the fluid that I just did, I mean, that was totally exploratory. When John Singer said it says so, that's when it's done. Exactly right. When the angry father figure of art says you're done, you're done. He's probably a nice guy. That's what I was saying earlier. I've totally made up this character. Lost Viking Metalworks is in the room. Hello, sir. You have dingled me. You have dingled me, sir. You have dingled me. We must fight. I will repeat my thanks to you, Mr. Viking, helping me with this armature. It is held up beautifully. Fancy barbecue fork, wow. My night is going pretty well, you know? It is. I am thankful for a few things. Reminding myself to be so. And that's not just a starving kids in China thing. That's, You know, any of us from the 80s would remember what that means. Say I think it's recognition that the state of being thankful definitely changes your psychology. I'm on Twitch and YouTube. YouTube pretty much is just for the sake of having archival. Like if you go to my YouTube channel, you can see everything I've done. I started streaming in basically September, late August. That's when I started. You can see everything I've done, every cringy thing I've done since then. You can see on YouTube, so that's cool to have. But my actual presence, I'm not even reading the chat on YouTube right now because generally there's nobody there. So to answer your question, for the most part, I'm on Twitch and TikTok. But you guys can, if you want to see my past, you can actually see every stage of this sculpture, starting back in the beginning of January. Totally get the reference. Well, we get the reference when I tell you that this gown she's wearing, which isn't much of a gown at all, is indicative of a gown I saw at a VIP lounge at the MTV Music Awards circa 2001 or 2, being worn by Jenna Jameson. Thank you, Bread Boy. Beach walks. Oh, you're gonna follow me on YouTube? Well, that's exciting because there's not many. Thank you, April. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's cool. I don't know. Are you being facetious? El Gore Dog Ringo? I'm not showing you anything? All right. Don't know if you're being facetious or not. That's fine. On YouTube, it's Beau in the Dark TV with underscore under each word. If you have my what do you call it, link tree, you can get to everything. Beau in the Dark on Linktree will show you everything. was saying earlier, this stage of sculpting is like, it's interesting because you don't actually have to look at it. It's all about feel. You know, now that I had this experiment tonight pouring the molten clay, I realized that old Rodin definitely had that technique. Looking at the bases on his sculptures, definitely did that same thing. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the bronze of this. Pretty excited about that. It's a few steps to go, but thank you, Samantha. Don't spill your aquaphor. Does the show beginning to end? When you go back to January 7th, isn't that the beginning of this? Should show me screaming and acting like a fool, bending the wire on the YouTube. Should be like 100 streams on there on the YouTube channel. What do you feel for? Texture, certain twist at the right point, something else? Yeah, it's definitely a feel. You know, like is the texture I'm feeling indicative of the stage where I was just filling up masses with clumps of clay, or is it indicative of, you know, the desired experience of, you know, right now I'm doing cloth, but honestly the cloth and the flame and the shadow arc and the bird are all kind of, you know, her hair, they're all similar. Let's take a look at the YouTube channel. If you did in fact find it, it sounds like you must have. How much am I going to sell it for? I don't know. You know, I wanted to get out there in the world. Like I said earlier, I feel like art is in that process of perception of you. So I want it to be consumed and out there in the world. So I'll make it, you know, basically how much the materials are kind of thing as a basis for producing it. I'll probably make a resin. It'll be more available, you know, more cost effective. And then I'm going to make a bronze, which will be awesome, but more expensive. Because bronze is expensive. You know, I've got the site up, Beau.art. You can see like my paintings and stuff, drawings and paintings there. I'll put it there. Oh, thank you there. How long is a piece normally? From conception to completion? Dude, I don't know, man. There's no such thing as normal. You know, there's no customer here, right? So this isn't commercial art. I'm not in a hurry. I'm enjoying it. I'm exploring. So, you know, I'm like over a month now, month and a half really. But, you know, there's time in there where I was sick. Whatever, took time off. A few hours here and there. You know, I'm letting it gestate over time without an objective. There's time in hours, but I also think just time overall of looking at it and allowing for that maturation of my mind to happen is important. It isn't really about hours per se on the clock. It's just about, you know, walking away and then coming back enough times and seeing it for the first time enough times that you start to mature. All right, thanks for coming on Lost Viking. Appreciate you. All right, Kane thinks I've been working on too long. And he's going to say it a whole bunch of times. Okay. Okay, I'm going to start my over. Oh, I definitely am not going to paint her now. I think Michelangelo said it best. He said his opinion was that sculpture was above painting because painting aspired to look like sculpture, but if you paint a sculpture, it doesn't look as good. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, that's not something, you know, there's, you know, in the other room, it's like one of those talented people that does those, you know, maquettes or whatever. That's cool. Definitely somewhere. I mean, I work in the film industry. A lot of my peers do very elaborate paintings for film work. But for me, it's more about the form. Dude, Elbro, I need some therapy, dude. What are you talking about? A little bit out of your mind, dude. I've actually had nothing but positive experience with people here on TikTok. And Twitch. Twitch has been a phenomenal community. Yeah, man, I don't know. It sounds like you might need to talk to somebody about some of those feelings you're having. I'm gluing my fingers, dude. Well, I'll tell you. These fingers, this brush, I've used this a lot. This, and one other tool I've used a lot. This guy. Predominantly, these are all of the tools I've used, for the most part, on my sculpt. This guy, this brush. These are the tools. I've cut occasionally with this blade. That's pretty much it. Earlier I was spooning on the base here, molten clay on the base with a spoon. That I have a hop pad over here that I baked clay in an oven at 250 degrees to melt it, and then spooned it on to create this liquid look on the base. Yeah, no, I had this guy right here. I'm rubbing it with Aquaphor. Well, you're gonna have to go back in the video, go back to the YouTube. You can see it from an hour ago. Like it's no longer hot. But basically, I was spooning it on with this thing, right, and forming it while it was molten. It's no longer hot and molten. Thank you, Lunacy. Nice name. Yeah, the YouTube channel should have everything going back to the Cage Fighter, Medusa, Vi is on there, I think. The Rage, the Monkey's on there. Pretty much everything going back to September, August. Should be, there are like 100 videos at this point, I think, on the YouTube channel. Unless it's down or something. The Art Haberdashery, thank you all. Okay, what do we move on to? What needs, what's in the butt? Probably, well, the question is this JB weld is enough? It's pretty, it's with this support on there, which I'll have to remove after I cast it. I think so. I think we're okay. I think I'm gonna build the hand back up. I tore it off to put all that JB weld down there. So was it Roni? Are you remember Roni? It was Roni's idea to make some changes. He wanted me to make, well, actually, that'd be more fun. I'm gonna work on the tail. Do I have enough structure? I think I have enough structure to hold the tail like I want to do. Let's get this clay warm. Gorilla makes a new improved JB weld. I'll take a look at that because I'm constantly using this. There's this, well, another tool you're curious about. Where's the camera right now? Steel stick. So I'm using it to, the armature inside of this is, really close to the camera, sorry, 5/16 all thread. And I bent that, so if you go back to those beginning videos, you'll see me, like I'm doing a strongman impersonation, bending that thing with my hands. And then I broke it, so then I went back with this torch, heated it, and then bent it on the second night. The first night was a complete poop show. Second night I bent it, and that's what you see now. That's inside of her, that 5/16 is all throughout, with wire wrapped around it, and then JB weld to hold all that together. So yeah, I do a lot of JB welding, so I'll check out that Gorilla product. I'm not a fan of Gorilla products. They've got a fabric tape I'm going to get when I make the projector screen I was talking about. I think the wire's strong enough to hold the weight. I think. Hope. Seems like it. YouTube channel, it's Beachwalks posted earlier. It's Beau in the Dark TV with underscores between, and that should, hopefully, I don't know, someone else was having that problem with it earlier, but that should give you like 100 videos, some of them cringy. Like I think if you go back to the very first one, it's gonna be like me with my buddy Chad trying to get the cameras working and trying to set it up like back in August. It's like the very first video. How do I put it on the stream? I don't know how to do that. How do you put it on the stream? Thank you, old cat daddy. Well, I guess I'll figure that out. Well, I mean, I probably should put the link tree, right? Because the link tree will lead you to everything. My website, my YouTube channel, pin a comment. All right, I'll figure that out. I'll do it before tomorrow night. Because the link tree will take you to, the YouTube channel. It'll take you to my Internet Movie Database page, website, Twitch, TikTok, and YouTube. Long press on comment. Your link tree didn't work for me. Really? Well, that's the setting. Let me see if I can find it real quick. That annoys me if that's the case. You've got me curious. Is there a problem? Oh my God, what's my password? Thank you. Oh my God. Choose your link tree username. No. What? Oh, for Christ's sake. Why is it going to be a pain in the ass? I'll find it before tomorrow night. Put it up. Okay, so you got there manually. But can you find the link tree? I just went there and, I don't know, I gotta figure, I don't even know what profile is on there, I'm sorry. But yeah, you can see all my movie stuff and the, whatever stuff. All that whatever stuff. Yeah, I'll put it in the bio. Thank you for the pointers. I'm a little bit of a novice here in this domain, so appreciate it. What is she holding? Well, a bird in one hand and a knife in the other. Move the camera so you can see the knife somewhere. Oh, do it all the way over there. So she's a knife in her back hand and a bird in front. Rose bronze, yeah, looks sexy as hell, right? Yeah, but rose bronze looks like a very good idea. Thank you for suggesting it. I'm gonna check that out. But the link tree should just be Beau in the dark, by the way. Well, Ashley, you tell me, is this pre-recorded? Since I'm reading your name, what do you think? Well, there it is. Linktree's up. That's fine. Here, yeah, that was easy. Here, how do I do this? Add comment. So there's a link tree. You were saying I could do something like pin it? Pin comment. Okay, I pinned the comment. I feel like a big boy. There. That should take you to everything. How are you disappearing? We all disappear. Is that what you're asking? Is that like a life thing? is that a Nietzschean psychology, philosophy? How are you disappearing? We're all disappearing. Okay, let's get back to work. Work, work, work. There we go. Yes. I went to Pratt Institute in Brooklyn, New York. And I did learn some things there. I did have some good experiences, some good influences. Salvatore Montano was my anatomy teacher, and he dissected at Columbia Medical School, so I had the opportunity to assist in human dissection. I'm seriously gonna run out of clay again. This is all the clay I have left. I keep going back to the art store and buying more clay. There's like 50 pounds of clay in this thing. I just keep going back and buying more, thinking that that's, like, couldn't possibly need any more. Yeah, I'm on a first name basis with the girls that work at the art store. Somebody drank all my wine, and I'm the only one here. It is tragic. Tragically. Thank you, old cat daddy. Yeah, that's part of the narrative, right? It's supposed to be a subtle part. I think when you experience it in person, presumably someday you get to experience it in person, you know, it'll read. But it is a subtlety that she's holding a knife. Do I have any kids? I have made 3 people, all by myself. No wife involved at all. That's not true. Yes, I have 3 kids. I'm so confused. I never know who's dingling me from where. Somebody just dingled me on Twitch. Got 145. Hello, Viking Wolfgar. So just out of curiosity, especially if you're still there, Beach Walk, so I did the post like you said and I pinned it. So is it readily available? Can you guys see my link tree now? Yeah, until you get grandkids. I can't even imagine, honestly, grandkids right now. Like, that just sounds like my kids are early teens, 15, 13, no, 15, 14, 12. And yeah, I mean, it's ostensibly not that far away. Like in our time, I say our time, I have no idea how old you are. In our time, they did this whole thing. They brainwashed us. Oh, you can't have kids young. They associated having kids young with failure. And now that I'm on the other side, I didn't have kids till I was 35. And even when when I found out my wife was pregnant, I felt like, oh my God, I'm too young. I'm like, well, wait a minute, no, I'm not. I'm kind of old, because we were so brainwashed. And I think this next, round of humans is not going to be so prone to associate parenthood at an early age with failure, like they trained us to. So I'm saying all that diatribe to say, like, yeah, I can't imagine being a grandparent anytime soon, but it's not necessarily true. And I'm not necessarily against it. If one of my kids wanted to have a child, younger than I did, that's fine. Really? I hit pin comment. How do I do this crap? Let's try again. I got a wad of clay sitting over here. Okay, so I, what? Post it in here. And now what? I hit pinned comment. It says it's pinned, dude. No? Do you not see that? I mean, I see it floating on the top of my chat stream. Do you not see it at the top of the chat stream? The link tree thing-a-ling. Oh, you think they get timed out? Maybe they do. Maybe pins only last a little while. Yeah, well, I think Olga or whatever his name is not with us anymore. He was very sassy. Very sassy person. I felt like they'd been morally offended or something. Somehow I had offended his ancestors. So yeah, this is going to be here in Kansas City, Missouri. So we're going to open a gallery nightclub in the River Market area, if you're familiar with Kansas City. Looks like the pin is gone. Pins don't seem to last, man. Temporally ephemeral pins. Well, that'd be awesome. I'm gonna figure out. I mean, I don't know what it is yet. Like, we're probably 6 months from opening, but I'll figure out like some kind of incentive or experience, something that you guys that are here on the social media and TikTok, and Twitch, and whatever, to when you show up, that you get some kind of special experience for sure. I don't know what that's gonna be. In fact, I'm open to suggestions, but I definitely want to make it be a unique experience for you, especially having contributed here. I want to make it awesome for you to show up. So we get some kind of preferred treatment. I'm literally running out of clay. I'm out of clay, actually. This is my last piece of clay, right? This is it for the clay. Oh no, another chunk. Never mind. One more chunk down here. I have another chunk of clay. That's it. I'm gonna be back at the damn art store tomorrow. These girls are gonna be wondering what I'm making. Okay, where are we? Love the parallel with her, of the bird tail to her hair. Like, who was it? Romy, how do you pronounce his name? I don't think he's here tonight. It was his idea. It was freaking awesome. It's not necessarily done. I think I need to do something else in here, but the theory is it's a contrapposto. It's a Italian term, usually in reference to Renaissance art, but it's contrapposto with her hair. It's just fantastic. Fantastic idea that he pushing towards. Nice. Well, if you're going to your garden, you probably want to get the metal, right? So I will. I mean, I had no idea. I actually can't answer your question because I have no idea what the materials for this are going to cost to cast it. So, but I would love to see it in your garden. Thank you. Blessed One Love. Yes, I wanted her to be completely floating. That was my initial idea. I was going to make this a thicker contact point, and there was going to be no contact back here at all, just the toe. And I have a metal armature in there right now, which was going to be temporary. Basically, what happened was I kept getting flagged for sexual content on TikTok, and it really annoyed me, right? I'm like, screw this, screw them, blah, blah, blah. And I kind of went a new direction, which was thinking of it as a challenge and embracing something I've never done before, which is drapery, right? For me, honestly, in my mind, I don't think of a nude as in any way perversity. The rest of the world seems to, but I don't. I think semi-nude is perverse. I think nude is not. So for me, it's, it's like not my thing to do semi-nude or partially covered or whatever. And then I started thinking about some of my inspiration, like Bernini, who has this beautiful, he deals with drapery like it's this beautiful organic structure. And, like he actually had the exact same problem with the Catholic Church, by the way, that I'm having with TikTok, with getting banned. And so that's when I decided to cover my armature with cloth and drapery. And that's where, so now we have 2 contact points supporting it. I still think the floating works though. So anyway, that's the story. I'm telling you the story. That's the story of how we got here. So, back to my anatomy teacher. He was a really weird Italian dude, old. He was old back then, and there's all these Latin names for everything that we learned. And he always referred to the middle finger as the digiti obscenus, which is not what it's actually called. Just made me think of that because I put clay on the middle finger. Communication finger. Like a Top Gun reference. Remember that scene? And Charlie, I believe her name was, the female instructor, asked Goose what they were doing. And he said Tom Cruise said international relations. And then Goose said, the finger. Digiti obscenus. Yes, that's what my anatomy teacher used to call the middle finger, the digiti obscenus. That is not a Latin name. But he was just making fun of the fact that we were all sitting around memorizing Latin all the time to make anatomy references. So he called the middle finger the digiti obscenus. Yes. The phalanges. The dirty the phalange. That would be the bone. Yeah, well, let's get back to it. Why don't you sculpt with me? How cool that. I need to set up a Discord on Blue Bodies there. He's gonna totally give me shit if he is. I need to set up a Discord so you guys could be working on something and share it at the same time. I would dig that, right? If we had an ongoing Discord, we could share things. You could work on stuff at the same time. That's really, I need to make that happen. Amongst the billions of things I've been doing, I need to get that going. Everybody complains about having too much to do. No one wants to hear me do it. Well, thank you, Mel DeLuca. You sound like you might be from Brooklyn. You might be familiar with my alma mater. Thank you, Blessed One. I appreciate it. Probably going to need to fill in this empty space between her hand and the bird. That is not going to cast mold at all. So I may need to figure out how to quickly fill that space, because that's just not going to work. Thank you, Hellbound Heathen. Goodness. You know what I like most about this experience is getting to see everyone's projected self-image, their names that they've made up for themselves, right? Might be from where? Oh, Brooklyn. I just read your thing and like that just reminded me of my time in Brooklyn with a lot of Italian people. Referring to Mr. I'm assuming Miss, well, not necessarily Mr. or Mrs. I don't know, Mel DeLuca. Could be either. I've known a male and a female named Mel. Assuming that's your first name. Could be a completely adopted name. Your main name might be Alice. Wow, thank you, old cat daddy. Yes, I mean, that would be what I'm going for. Like, thank you. I feel really good that I've got even just placeholder for the tail. That works. And this totally placeholder is just BS stuck in there, but I like, makes me feel good to be like compositionally. It works. Miss, I see. From Miami, though. You're in Miami. Well, a lot of times we went from Brooklyn to Miami, so that totally makes sense. Mystical and humane. Well, there you go. Ceramic League of Miami. No. Sounds like a cool place. The Ceramic League. Sounds intimidating. Ceramic League of Miami. I don't know. Could be an Assassin's Guild for that matter. What's next? What's missing? What's the biggest thing? That's what I keep doing. I step back and just say, okay, I've got all these pieces going. Let's not get myopic. Let's take a step back and be like, what's the biggest thing I can do? What's the thing I can do that will have the biggest impact to move the piece forward? Man, as wobbly as shit. I mean, it's not going anywhere. It's all supported by steel, but it does make me like a little mindful of. I might come up with something creative, like make it. If the bird is made out of flames, I might have flames going down her arm, and the purpose of that would also be a structural one to make it a thicker support structure. Right now I've got a shit ton of weight sitting on that little wrist. Wow, thank you, old cat daddy. You are thoughtful. You are on point. What's the, I can't believe we're running out of clay again. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable, not clay. Going into this thing. Every single time I've gone to the art store, I thought this is all I need to finish this piece. Thank you. You know what? I think the thing I can do, the biggest impact, is explore the concept I just said, which is, what if the bird has made fire? Let's have fire wrapping around her arm. That's the thing I can do, have the biggest impact right now. Is explore that concept. Like I keep saying, if you're trying to impress somebody, it's time to stop. If you're still exploring, it's time to, then you keep going. Wow. Thank you, old cat daddy. You're making me feel like I am part of the great magnet. Part of the great flow. I could, but I'm definitely, this is just gonna get cut off, I think. I don't want it to be the final piece. This is total, just there to hold for now. Vault 70. What's up? Good to see you. Beach walks. Lovin'. Got lovin's. I got a heart. Hello, Jax. Welcome. Welcome. See, this is going to be an interesting one. Let's play with this. How to make it look like the bird is not only made of fire, but that fire is wrapping around her arm. That is going to be a challenge. I have to get some reference. I don't know what that would be. Ideation reference. Well, I don't need to worry about the weight of the bird per se, just as long as it's held up during the sculpting process, because at the end I'm gonna cast and mold this. Suffering through the slings and arrows of adversity, the elements of the outside. You know, I just need to be thinking not so much about the strength while I'm sculpting it, because I've got the armature here, this exterior armature, which will not be in the final, to support it. But but will this be thick enough at the end to hold it? And honestly, with what the idea I'm doing right now, if I can pull it off artistically or aesthetically, yeah, like this is getting a lot thicker really fast, and I think we'll hold the weight. But you know, I got to figure out how to pull it off aesthetically. Yeah, I could do some. What I've noticed that people do that's pretty cool is they don't do time lapse per se, as far as just like speeding up film, but they'll just like cut. You know, like what if I did a 1 minute segment from every single day or something? Seems to be effective. That seems pretty cool. So it's playing, you know, normal speed, but you know, cutting interstitials intermittently, or something or another. I mean, this is kind of cool for sure. This could be cool if I could pull it off. I'm gonna have to think about it for a little while, how to pull it off to make it look like the bird is flame and its flame is wrapping around her. I don't know, conceptually. Thank you. Right now I'm working title anyway. I'm calling this The Hand of Fate. I just realized that's interesting, right? I like the idea of making the bird's talons the exact same shape as the knife in her hand. That's kind of cool, right? I think it's cool. Thank you, old cat daddy. Come back. I will be here most nights, Monday through Thursday. So I'll be here tomorrow night. If you want to come back and join us, your input is most appreciated. Let's let's test out my Russian here. Olga Tadia Blans? Did I even get close? I tried. Olga Tadia. Teddy and Blythe. Okay. Oh, Blythe. Right. Okay. Sorry. Got it. I failed. I spent several years in Moscow, about a decade and a half ago. So when I see something in Russian, I can't help but at least try. Thank you, Jasmine. Jesus, what did I just do? Knocked off a big old piece. ISO teddy bears and selling clothes for dolls. Okay, totally makes sense. Are you in Russia? Are you a Muscovite? Are you from the Ukraine? I apologize. I'm sure that was a little bit of an annoying question then. I apologize. Thank you, Dami. Yes, Ukrainian and Russian are similar. I think. I don't know. I'm not an expert, obviously. Same alphabet, I think. Similar pronunciation. Okay. So where are we right now? What have we done? We've done a lot tonight. We've made a lot of changes. Changes. I don't know conceptually how I'm going to do this, but I want it to make it look like not only is the bird made of fire, but then that fire is wrapping around her arm. So I'm going to have to figure that out. I am a conceptual quagmire. Work it out. Definitely a challenge to make that leap. Did you ever sculpture Medusa? I think is what you're asking. No, I did a drawing of Medusa though. If you go to my profile, you'll see a painting of Medusa I did. But I've never done a sculpture of Medusa. Yeah, check it out. Give me your feedback. I mean, right now, I'd like to hear your feedback. Let's do this. Let's do it live. Take a look. Come back. Beau.art. Check it out. Give me your feedback. Let's hear it. I'm free. This is made of plastilina, an oil-based clay. Yeah, no, it's not a dumb question at all. Let me see, where's the camera right now? I'll show you. No, Jesus Christ. That is 5/16 steel, I'm showing you right now. That is all called all thread, so it's threaded like a bolt. And so that is bent, and it runs bolted into the baseboard here, and comes up through her toe. All of her limbs are made of that steel. There's two contact parts for the board, one side here, one side here. And then this is 1/4 inch, all thread. And this is gonna be removed. This is not gonna be part of this final sculpture, but everything else is internal. The rest of the armature is internal. So while it looks a little wobbly, it's not going anywhere. It's made of steel inside. She's like the Terminator. She's a reverse Terminator. She's steel on the, well, no, that is the Terminator, sorry. She's an endoskeleton. She's steel on the inside. Sorry, Jadis Sonica Dragonesh, what are you asking? You have a hard time finding one. Oh, the Medusa? Really? Just go to beau.art, and that's my website, and you, or my Instagram, Beau in the Dark on Instagram, my profile on TikTok. There's a picture of it. Let me see here. You know what? On the next time the camera cycles, I'll scroll over to it. You can see it. Wait, nope, not that camera. Next time. I DP under? That sounds questionable. Oh, you found Medusa and you love her. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. I tried to spill my wine just now. Like a man-child sometimes. Thank you. That is probably, honestly, that's probably my most popular piece. I like it. I don't know that it's my favorite. I like it for sure. It's kind of like asking which one of your children are your favorite children. But I definitely like it. But it does seem to be popular. The common goal, I guess, one that's sold the most. When people buy prints on my website, Medusa is definitely the one they buy. Is this one a Pigsby holding a sunflower? No, no, that's just not what it is. This is supposed to be a phoenix in her hand, which I need to still work on for the least done part. And then in this hand she has a knife, and I don't know what else to say. No, not a sunflower. It's supposed to be a bird. I might need to recompose my cameras though. I don't think you guys can quite see as well now that I've expanded. The piece is bigger. Yeah, well that camera still works, right? You can still see things there. Yeah, tomorrow I'll recompose cameras because the piece has changed quite a bit in size as I compose these cameras. I think this lighting can be, so I can adjust this real quick. This lighting down a little bit. Right? I think that's better. Oh, that's why I didn't. That's why I had high, because it's right in that camera now. No, whatever. I think it's still better for viewing the sculpture, even if it's in frame on the camera. All right, what's the thing I need to do next? I need to pour some wine. That's what I need to do next. Although, I think by the time of the night, I was speaking about Moscow earlier. This shot glass I got, set of 6 actually, in Moscow in 2008. And I just put a little blends in there. Okay. I think I'm going to take a quick break, everybody. I'm going to shut down the stream, take a break. I'll be back in just 1 minute. If you're all around, you want to come back, that'd be cool. Love to see you. Just give me just a second. Come back in 1 minute. All right, I'm back. Okay, go gadget brain. Go gadget brain. Hi. Oops. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining. Pleased to meet you. Don't forget my name. A lot of names, a lot of faces. Means a lot even breaking the first two laws of Sculpt Club. This is not a replay. Sorry, Swiftly. This is really happening. My favorite lines from any movie, Rosemary's Baby. She's in a drugged up state and being taken by the devil, and she says, this is not a dream, it's really happening. So, that's my sentiment to you. This is not a restream, this is really happening. I've got some angles. Thank you, CP. I see. I like how Swifty then went from, is this a replay to, I will follow. So I appreciate it. I mean, everything can feel a little bit like Groundhog Day, right? Reliving the same thing. Not as bad as COVID days. Man, that was Groundhog Day. I don't know what Tony's saying, but all right, thanks. This is plastilina. It's an oil-based clay, which was cool because earlier, where's the camera right now? I literally, see my frying pan? I filled that with clay and put it in the oven at 250 degrees, melted it, and then poured it to make the base. That's the big accomplishment tonight, is I poured the base because I wanted to look like it was fluid. And I think for the most part I accomplished it. You know, I might do it again one more time and just come up with some more patterns, but for the most part I think I accomplished my goal of making it look like it's liquid. Thank you, Trey. What is this, Trey? My eyes are really getting bad. It sucks. My eyes have always been the strong suit. Now I'm squinting. You see me leaning over, looking at the monitor. It's no beach. Okay, I don't know what that means, but all right. So awesome, the definition. The definition? Oh, the definition of the figure. Thank you. I was taking that literal, like, definition. What do you mean, definition? add color. I will not add color. I'm not a fan of coloring sculptures. I want the form to be the thing. So I will not. I'm going to cast it in a, probably in a bronze, and it'll be a patina. No colors! How long am I working on this piece? I started it in January. You actually can go back and see if you want to look at it, because I've got it all archived on YouTube. You can go to my YouTube channel. You can see I started it, I think, on January 7. Beau in the Dark TV is the YouTube channel. And it's got everything on it. Everything I've done. Every cringy, embarrassing thing I've done since I started streaming in September or August or something is on YouTube. Like the very first one is literally me and a buddy trying to work out cameras and sound. And I think it's still up there. Yeah, I don't have a huge following by any means on YouTube. It's more of like a nice archival platform. Thank you, Vicky. I had a good friend from Australia. I feel like one of these days that friend might show up on this stream. Or maybe not. Thank you, CP. Beau in the dark. Not beautiful, although Beau does mean beautiful. Beau in the dark. B-E-A-U. In the dark. TV underscores between is the YouTube. Just like this. This is Beau in the dark on TikTok. That's Beau in the dark on YouTube, but I had to put an underscore TV at the end. I see you got auto-corrected. Yeah, it happens. It's not always helpful. Have I sold her? It's like trafficking. You get sculpting trafficker over here. Have I sold her? A lot of people have talked about wanting to buy it. When I'm done, I will definitely make some casts, and I will cast it, mold it, and cast it in. I'm probably gonna do a resin, and which will be cheaper. Hello, Prue the cat. Thank you. Yeah, so the resin will be cheaper because the material's cheaper, and I want it to be available to people who want it. Somebody earlier was saying they want to put in their garden, so that would definitely need to be an alloy like bronze. So I'll cast it in bronze as well. I don't. That's what I was just talking about. It's not going to get cast, or not going to get fired at me. It's going to get molded. So I'll brush on silicone, like half-inch thick on everything, and then I'll have a fiberglass structure around that, pull it all apart, and then I can pour into that mold, initially a resin, and then after that I'll do a wax. And from the wax, I can then cast, I can put plaster around it, make another mold of plaster, which is used to cast alloy, because plaster can take the heat of molten metal, but then it's more brittle, so you can break it off. Right, so in other words, I'll make a resin and I'll make a alloy, bronze. I'm naming this Hand of Fate. Shout out to Mr. Croker. Right. The original clay gets destroyed in the process generally. or at least doesn't survive. That's all it means, oil-based clay, so it doesn't, it's not going to survive the test of time anyway. So the trick is to get it cast and mold. I'll probably do a 3D scan of it, to be honest with you. I will do a 3D scan before I start casting it. Do I have other sculptures? This is the most complete that I've done, to be honest with you. I've done a lot of digital sculpting. My career was in digital, so I worked on movies. So if you've seen the first Harry Potter, I sculpted the faces for the troll and the centaur in the first Harry Potter. That's just like one of the big ones, but I've done dozens of movies. If you go to my link tree, you can go to my IMDb. Actually, you can still camp on IMDb. Beau on IMDb. You can see at least some of the movies I worked on. They're not all there. Not everything I've done is there. I think the last movie I worked on was, well, I'm working on some movies right now, actually. I don't know. Yeah, I haven't done a lot of visual effects work in the last couple of years because it's been a terrible industry to be in. I've been in the automotive industry. Went to Tokyo and worked on autonomous cars for a couple of years. And now I'm back in the States. How do I get it off the board? Well, I don't have to get it off the board because the board's gonna be part of the process of creating the mold. Right? So I'll probably clean off some of this surface, but the silicone will butt up against the board. Where did I find inspiration? Honestly, it has developed over time. Initially, it was entirely figurative. I mean, I'm a big fan of figurative work and art. Like, I love the female form. I love the male form. I like form. I started with that, and really, the narrative developed over time. I mean, even developed just tonight. There's some new ideas. Like I was just saying, how cool it would be for this talon to be the exact same shape as the knife she has. That was an idea I just came up with tonight. So it's developed over time. That being said, most of my pieces have some kind of narrative about resurrection, reincarnation, self-actualization. I mean, those are my things. Those are my themes. I work in those themes. So like everything kind of ends up there regardless. I keep ending up back in the reincarnation, self-actualization, no matter what. I don't mean to, but I guess that's just me, or where I am in life. You know, maybe this is my midlife crisis. Maybe you're literally participating in my midlife crisis, which is self-actualization. I started this in the beginning of January. If you go to the Beau in the Dark TV on YouTube, you can actually go back to the original, the first night, January 7th, I think. It was a complete poo show. Like I made a mess of things. I didn't know what I was doing. I was working with this, trying to figure out how to get this armature. I was working with this very heavy armature. See, there it is. That I was bending by hand, so it looked more like a strongman competition than it did a sculpture stream. The first 2 nights. We got there. I spilled a few glasses of wine in the process. I cannot claim to have that there was no wine damaged in the making of this art. I have drawings and paintings for sale on TikTok if you want like prints and stuff. You can go to beau.art, beau.art. You can see my drawings and sculpture, or my drawing and paintings. This is my first sculpture recently, so it's the first thing I've kind of done in this forum. To be honest. Beau in the Dark TV on YouTube, yeah. That's where you can see the video stuff. Oh, thank you, Latino Wisco, that's a good name. But yeah, on TikTok, I've got the store, beau.art on TikTok. It's also my website name. And there you can, if you want prints, like if you like this, you might like Medusa. There's a Medusa painting on that store. And again, it's just pretty much the cost of manufacturing because I want to get it out there. I want people to just, get it. It's cool. Medusa's probably my most popular. Extra large canvases. Light in the Darkness, I think is the name of the piece. That's my biggest. It is huge. It is 62 inches by like 48 or more. I can't remember. It's huge. That's a huge drawing. That's a huge painting. And that's on the store. And honestly, it's much more impressive in person than it is small on your monitor. It's in person. It's a lot more impressive. If I ever dream. Can I see the back muscles? Well, there you go. Hers or mine? Because there you see hers right there. You see her back muscles right there. Do I reference anything? I mean, I spent my life doing figurative work in various ways. Like I've said, a few times, like definitely the arms, the back, lower back, even the upper legs are very similar to my wife, so I kind of have a constant reference. But no, she didn't pose for me. I didn't have any posing for this figure. What kind of wine? That's a good question. Tonight is sponsored by, where's the camera right now? We're here, Apothic wine. It is a red blend. It's okay. It was definitely not an expensive wine, but it's good. I'm enjoying it. Thank you, Smoked Glass. How many years of experience do I have? Well, I went to art school in 94. Graduated in 98. Been working professionally in visual effects ever since. You like a body? Good. What am I going to do next? I don't know. That is a really good question. I've been pondering maybe doing a male figure or a male and a female figure together in the next piece. You know, I was brainstorming with somebody here on the stream a while back, and I really liked where that conversation went, which was doing a woman with a removed left breast, which was indicative of archers, female archers, the Amazonians, for example. It was like, at least this is mythology, that they would remove a breast so that they could be better archers. The string wouldn't hit the breast. And I don't know, I kind of liked that on a narrative. I don't want to say political because I don't want to engage in that conversation, but just on a narrative. The idea of complete, you know, dedication to your craft, right? I don't know, I liked it. I don't know that I'll do that next, but that is a conversation about the next piece that I've had. You know, strong, defiant, I don't know. I definitely have also played with male-female, like, relationship dynamic in sculpture. I've thought about a little bit, maybe doing that next. I've been working on this since the beginning of January, off and on. I got sick as hell, so I took an entire week off. A few hours here and there. I'm probably at like 60 hours, probably total. It's probably a 60-hour piece you're looking at. It gives a studio tour. You know what's going to be awesome about that is very soon I'm going to move my studio to our gallery here in Kansas City. So some business partners and I are going to open up a nightclub gallery in about 6 months. And I'm going to move my studio to it. So right now I can show you, I can do a studio tour. I'm here in my basement. I've got a huge house here in Kansas City. One of the nice things of moving from Los Angeles to Kansas City is a big house. So the basement here, my studio is basically 2,000 square feet here in the basement. But the new space is a 23,000 square foot building where we're building this gallery nightclub. And I'm probably going to move my studio to there. I'll be streaming from there. I'll have a bar. I'll have staff. Like, it's going to get a little weird. Things are going to get a little weird in a few months. So come back, stick around. You're going to see the stream get a little weird, you know. We'll see. Sculpture therapy, exactly. Yeah, Jason, that's, you know, kind of the sentiment there. I don't know that I want to, the thing is, like, how much do you love it enough that you want to look at it like this, 60 hours? Do I love that theme enough that I want to look at it for 60 hours? I'm not sure, right? But I wasn't sure about this one either when I started, and I've become more in love with it as I've gone because I've added things. I've added aspects to this that I do love, and felt good about, and that I like. You know, like, I was just thinking how cool it'd be if the talon was the exact same shape as this knife. You know, one of these talons in the bird is the exact same shape as the knife, and I'm like, I like that duality. I didn't think of that when I started. It came up. So, you know, it's a lot like love in life, you know, a relationship in life and your love in life. It's like, well, it's not there. Like, people have this weird, you know, hallmark version of what love is, like, that they're, you know, true love and love. It's like, no, you don't find love, and there's no such thing as true love. That's nonsense. You make love, right? You accomplish it. It's a goal. You accomplish love. I think that's true in life, relationships, and in art. And so I think I have found love in this sculpture that wasn't there when I started. So, a bit of a diatribe, but, you know, there has to be a certain amount of seed. Just like my marriage is my life, my wife, you know, it's like there was enough there in the beginning that's like, I want to invest in this to create love, to manifest this over time. And so the same thing with that ideation, or that idea of, you know, that for example, that archery idea. Like, okay, do I love this enough that I'm going to commit to it, that I'm going to find love within it? Or is this, you know, is this fleeting? Is this a one-night stand? Is this a one-night stand of sculpture? Or is this something I want to invest in? Because there's no such thing as love at first sight or whatever. There's definitely, you know, being enamored at first sight, but it's something you work over time towards: life, relationships, and art. So anyway, I'm totally off on a diatribe now. Anybody still here? Wow, Heavenly Curtis, hello. Thank you for coming in. Beachwalks is back. Hello everyone. Love you guys. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate you. Chris Bow is back. You like her face? You know what? Her face is probably the area that I put the least amount of effort into, or at least relative to what I want to, because I'm going to come back to it. I'm going to come back to the face and put some effort into that after I've really worked out everything else. But I appreciate it. Thank you. Well, thank you, Heidi. Yes, Koro-sensei, yes. You're very confusing. You're an enigmatic figure with your transient names. Thank you for showing up. I'm naming this, well, those four anyway, working title is Hand of Fate. Okay, time for the active observer to gauge what needs to happen next. All right, well, thank you for coming. Kodo Sensei, Heavenly Curse. Oh, Heavenly Curse. No, I keep calling you Heavenly Creature in my mind. It's interesting. It's weird that I do that, right? Well, thank you for coming. We'll check in next time. I'll be here tomorrow night. I'll be back tomorrow night. And we will continue the dialogue. I do. I have hearts on. My hands are dirty. I don't want to go get it. My favorite is called Rage on a white sweatshirt. It's absolutely my favorite. What can I show you? Oh my god, I'm going to show you anyway, so I can find it. Trying not to get it all nasty with my dirty ass hands. This is by far my favorite. Where's the camera right now? This is my favorite. It's a Rage sweatshirt. Doing a terrible job of showing it. This thing is awesome. I love this. Big fan. I like this. This is my favorite. It's on the website. Yes, check it out. It's called Rage, and I'm surprised I like it on white because I always wear black, right? It's on white. I love it on white. Love it. Thank you, Latino Wisco. Hola from Hawaii. Aloha, not hola. Aloha from Hawaii. Well, thank you. I had a sculpted lady. She came from Denmark. I don't know why in my mind that just became the song from Down Under. Yeah, I'm gonna finish this and then I'm gonna move on. Like, I'm letting this happen over time at the rate that it needs to happen, but it will end. Like, I will move on fairly soon. Like, I need to really figure out the bird. The bird is the biggest part. Like, I don't know what I'm doing yet. Need to figure out the bird, and then I'll go back and do a passive finishing thing. You know, finish some toes and fingers and make her face look beautiful. I'll do one more pass. I need to figure out the bird conceptually, because it's still a bit of a, I'm not sure I'm doing yet. So I need to figure out the bird conceptually, and then I'm gonna do one more pass over everything and finishing it. I'm not gonna try to make it not look like clay. I'm not gonna sit here and smooth it out and try to pretend it's not made out of clay. It is clay, it will always be clay. When it's cast and molded, it's gonna look like clay. But I will do one more pass of finishing, especially, you know, hands, feet, face, and bird. But the bird for me is still enigmatic. I don't have the bird figured out yet. So, I'm processing. I will sell these for sure because, not necessarily for the monetary gain, but I will sell because I want, my belief is that art doesn't exist as a thing. It's not a noun. It's, if anything, a verb, and it's existing in your mind only, exclusively, the viewer. So I wanted to get it out there. I wanted to exist. I wanted to be art, and the only way you can be art, I think I'm gonna call it a night. I need to calm down, chill out. I got a whole day ahead of me. Yeah, a poet smile, I'm with you. It's Betty by time. Hi from Australia. Hi, well, hello, Helenia, James, thank you.